There are several reports circulating quietly across tech forums claiming that Tesla will launch an $8,000 tiny house later this year. Some argue this seems plausible given the leaks throughout last year, while the vast majority believe it's nothing more than fake news. Despite the lack of press releases, launch events, or even a single tweet from Elon Musk, the pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. This speculation brings to mind a little-known fact. Elon Musk once lived in a tiny house, calling it the most minimalist living experience of his life, even though the Tesla CEO has enough net worth to buy an entire city. So if Tesla truly enters the housing market with a 300-square-foot home at such an unbelievable price point, is this the logical next step after EVs and AI? Or is it just data noise blown out of proportion? Let's debunk the truth behind the $7,999 Tesla tiny house right now. There's been a ton of hype around what people call Elon Musk's Tesla house, but a lot of the talk about its price and specs has been overstated or just plain wrong. The truth, based on the most credible info from Musk himself and the manufacturer, is much simpler. The home is under 400 square feet and sits at Starbase, Texas. This was never some massive real estate experiment. It's a compact casita made by Boxabl, and the wild part is that it can be set up in roughly an hour. When Musk bought his, it was literally one of the first 3 homes Boxabl had ever built. Since then, Boxabl has racked up close to 200,000 pre-orders, translating to nearly $2 billion in potential sales. That kind of momentum speaks volumes about Musk's pull. Without his involvement, Boxabl likely wouldn't have exploded into the spotlight the way it did. Musk's casita was fully assembled at the factory before being shipped, walls, ceilings, and core structural elements all completed ahead of time, then delivered to Starbase for final placement. Early rumors painted it as a basic prefab with drywall walls, but Musk later cleared that up on a podcast. He said he paid just $45,000, and more importantly, the build was nothing like what people assumed. Boxabl explains that the home is constructed using steel concrete, insulating foam, and multi-layer panel systems, all compressed under as much as 250,000 pounds of pressure to form extremely tough components. They specifically avoid drywall, which is fragile and impractical for long-distance transport. That choice of materials is what makes the casita so durable. Because of that, the casita can handle extreme conditions, hurricanes, flooding, and heavy snow included. Simply put, if it's solid enough for Elon Musk to live and work in at Starbase, it's clearly built to a very high standard. But the casita's biggest selling point might be its mobility. You can literally move your entire house wherever you want. Boxabl says transport costs typically range from $2 to $10 per mile depending on distance, and they're even willing to ship internationally if buyers cover the extra cost. The whole move is done on a flatbed truck, making relocating a full-sized home surprisingly simple. When it's folded up for transport, the tiny house measures 19 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, and 12.5 feet tall, small enough to stay within standard road limits. Even though it can weigh up to 13,000 pounds, its clever engineering allows it to be unfolded and fully installed in about 1 hour once it reaches its destination. That speed and simplicity make it a great option for anyone who wants a tough, no-hassle home that can be deployed almost anywhere in the world. With just under 400 square feet of living space and a ceiling height of 9 feet 6 inches, it's surprising that this $45,000 casita can fit 4 distinct rooms and still feel like a real house. That's not accidental. It's the result of Boxabl's highly efficient design, which squeezes maximum functionality out of every square foot. The company also points out that the interior layout can be customized based on the owner's needs. And if one unit isn't enough, multiple 20 by 20 foot casitas can be joined together or even stacked into 2 or 3 story structures, turning a tiny home into a sleek modern building. One of the main reasons Musk reportedly bought his casita was to host guests from Tesla and SpaceX. When visitors or government officials came by for tours, Musk would often walk them through the factory until it was time for them to leave. But factories aren't exactly quiet, and when conversations needed a calmer setting, the casita became the perfect spot. It also doubled as a workspace. Elon Musk was known to use it himself to get things done. So what's actually inside the tiny house Elon Musk lives in? Believe it or not, Elon Musk living in a tiny house is 100% real, and the interior is way more impressive than you'd expect. The moment you step into the living room, it's hard to believe the entire place is only about 400 square feet. The casita's main lounge feels refined and comfortable, easily nice enough for Elon to host guests for coffee without anyone feeling squeezed. On the Full Send podcast, Elon Musk even mentioned, "I use the Boxabl as my guest house, so if a friend comes over, they can stay there if they want." As soon as you walk through the door, you're met with sleek composite wood floors with a polished look paired with clean, minimalist furniture and massive floor-to-ceiling glass doors. Natural light floods the space through those tall windows, and the layout is genuinely smart. It makes the house feel much larger than it actually is. The living room itself is surprisingly elegant, featuring a modern coffee table and a streamlined sofa. And that sofa isn't just for looks, it pulls out into a bed for overnight guests. A wall-mounted TV turns the space into a perfect chill zone. Honestly, the living room feels intentionally more spacious than the rest of the house. That's probably no accident, since this area also doubles as Elon's workspace when he's handling major Tesla and SpaceX matters. That extra breathing room makes sense, especially considering Musk reportedly uses this space to work while managing multiple companies and traveling nonstop. Just behind the living area sits the bedroom, separated by a partition wall that also functions as storage for clothes and daily essentials, a clever two-in-one solution. Musk has even shared that his casita technically has 3 bedrooms. It originally had 2, but he converted the garage into a third. From videos of the interior, the sleeping areas usually feature foldable beds that are comfortable enough for 2 people. When not in use, the bed folds neatly into the wall, freeing up space and keeping the room flexible. And then there's the kitchen. While we don't know how often Elon actually cooks, his tiny house is clearly well equipped. The kitchen comes with a sink, refrigerator, dishwasher, oven, and thoughtfully arranged cabinets. The layout is so efficient, it rivals some full-size apartment kitchens. There's also a small dining table that doubles as a kitchen island, complete with stools for casual meals. And yes, it even has a proper ventilation system to handle smoke and odors, proving that small doesn't mean impractical. Right next to the kitchen is the bathroom, and at first glance you might assume it's too small to be fully functional, but once again, that assumption doesn't hold up. Elon Musk's casita includes everything you'd expect from a standard bathroom: a deep walk-in shower, a sink, a mirror, and a toilet. A sliding door helps save space, and it's clear every inch was intentionally designed to feel comfortable and practical without ever feeling tight or boxed in. Inside, the entire tiny house is outfitted with LED lighting and energy-efficient appliances, dramatically cutting down electricity usage. From what's been reported, this $45,000 home is also equipped with solar panels on the roof, generating more than enough power to run all of its systems. The casita uses a 2-kilowatt solar setup supported by Tesla Powerwall batteries mounted on the exterior to store energy around the clock. It also comes with a 100-amp electrical panel and an impressive 16 outlets inside, pretty remarkable for such a compact home. Thanks to its efficient layout, the casita requires a smaller HVAC system, which further improves energy efficiency while keeping the interior comfortable year-round. And of course, this move fits perfectly with Elon Musk's reputation for making unconventional choices. Before settling into this tiny house, he owned multiple luxury mansions worth tens of millions of dollars. But around May 2020, CEO Tesla sold off nearly all of his personal real estate, choosing instead to live in a modest, tiny home just steps away from where he works. This choice hits even harder when you look at the mess that is today's rental market. Most Americans are drowning in rent, shelling out anywhere from $1,700 to over $2,200 a month. And don't even get me started on the insane prices in New York City or San Francisco. In that light, seeing one of the world's richest guys kick it in a $45,000 house isn't just a shocker. It's a massive flex on minimalist, no-nonsense living. You'd think a tiny house like this would have every competitor trying to eat Boxabl's lunch, but the company isn't sweating it. When asked about copycats, they're basically like, good luck. They're betting that nobody else truly understands the tech and secret sauce behind their process, giving them a serious edge to dominate the game for years to come. By now, it's pretty clear why Elon Musk pulled the trigger on that $45,000 casita. Like we said, he just needed a low-key place to crash and a setup that kept him right in the middle of his workspace. It's all about proximity. The second reason, we're betting he wanted to throw his weight behind a company that speaks his language. While Elon is busy flipping the script on transport with Tesla, Boxabl is reinventing the home, making it fast, green, and cheap. Since Musk is obsessed with killing off emissions, backing Boxabl's efficient build style is a total on-brand move for him. So what if Elon is using this casita as a literal test run for life on another planet? Let's be real, the man won't stop until he hits Mars. It's not crazy to think he might eventually send a fleet of Tesla Optimus robots up there to build colonies. And when they do, those Martian habitats are probably going to look a lot more like a Boxabl than your typical suburban fixer-upper. To build a functional colony on Mars, speed and efficiency are everything. You need a process that's streamlined to the max. Think of it like a high-tech assembly line where every move is calculated with surgical precision. We're talking cutting-edge manufacturing, not your old-school construction site. A huge part of making that work is using materials that are small, light, and easy to ship, exactly like that Boxabl unit Elon's living in. It's starting to look like his $50,000 prefab isn't just a place to sleep. It's a high-stakes test run for his intergalactic ambitions. Then, there's the sustainability factor. Whether you're a fan of his EVs or not, you can't deny the guy is a pioneer in green tech. He knows the clock is ticking on Earth's resources. By choosing a tiny home built from sustainable materials, he's basically saying this is a non-negotiable piece of the puzzle for the future of housing. Finally, this tiny home is a massive flex on his less is more philosophy. Even with a net worth that's off the charts, Elon isn't out here blowing cash on super yachts like your typical billionaire. He's notoriously low-key with his personal spending, funneling his energy and his money back into his companies and a sustainable lifestyle. Living in a casita isn't just a quirk, it's a direct reflection of his minimalist DNA and his drive to leave a smaller footprint on the planet. Look, there's no denying the casita is a game changer. On paper, it's the perfect fix for the housing crisis, offering a lifeline for the homeless and anyone getting crushed by skyrocketing rents. But let's keep it real, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some serious hurdles in the way. First off, the instant home hype doesn't quite match reality. Even with their factory up and running, Boxabl only managed a max of 400 homes in their first year. They were pushing out maybe 2 units a day. At that pace, the dream of cranking out thousands of casitas every year feels like a finish line that keeps moving further away. Then there's the waiting game. Nobody actually knows when Boxabl will scale up enough to clear their massive backlog. Individual buyers are basically stuck in limbo with no clear delivery dates. Last year, the frustration boiled over. Customers asked for over $1 million in refunds out of about 8,000 pre-orders. When people start clawing back their $5.4 million in deposits, you know there's a trust issue. Finally, let's talk numbers. A $45,000 to $60,000 price tag sounds like a steal compared to a standard house, but it's still a stretch for a lot of people. Critics argue that for the square footage you're actually getting, it's not exactly a bargain. And don't forget the hidden costs: permits and land aren't cheap. If you don't already own a plot, that affordable home suddenly gets a lot pricier. If Boxabl wants to go mainstream, they've got to find a way to slash production costs or get creative with pricing. Making the product more competitive isn't just a business move, it's the only way they'll actually deliver on the promise of housing for everyone. Despite the uphill battle and the skeptics lurking in the comments, Boxabl's CEO isn't losing a second of sleep. He's staying incredibly bullish, firmly convinced that the company is finally smoothing out the technical kinks of mass-producing high-quality, low-cost homes. Their secret sauce: it's all in the fold. The fact that a casita can literally fold up like a checked bag at the airport is a total game-changer. It makes shipping these units across the country, or even across the globe, drastically easier and cheaper than hauling a traditional clunky prefab. In a world where logistics usually kill a business, Boxabl is betting that their origami architecture is the key to dominating the market. Now let's dive into the elephant in the room, those viral rumors about Elon Musk secretly collaborating with Boxabl to drop a Tesla tiny house for the mind-blowing price of just $8,000. As much as we'd all love to live in a sleek, high-tech crib branded with that iconic T logo, let's get real for a second. It's mostly just internet noise and wishful thinking for now. The idea of a compact, ultra-affordable home designed by the world's most famous engineer has definitely set the internet on fire, but there's zero official confirmation. Elon is famous for betting his entire fortune on out-there projects, from reusable rockets to brain chips, and while he hasn't flat-out denied the Tesla house project, he hasn't signed off on it either. That silence is exactly what's fueling the rumor mill. But let's do some quick math. If a standard Boxabl casita is already pushing $60,000, a $7,000 price tag sounds more like a pipe dream than a business plan. However, if Musk were to pull this off, it would be a total man-on-the-moon moment for the housing industry. It would align perfectly with his minimalist DNA and his obsession with sustainability. But given Boxabl's current production struggles and the sheer cost of materials, don't expect to see a Model H hitting your driveway anytime soon. The widespread claim on social media that Tesla was launching a tiny house at the unbelievable price of just $8,000 ultimately turned out to be nothing more than a rumor of the digital age. Tesla has never listed such a product in its official business portfolio, nor has it announced any plans to manufacture low-cost housing. The flashy images and videos circulating online were, in the end, nothing but a massive exaggeration. Given Elon Musk's reputation for turning seemingly impossible ideas into reality, many consumers genuinely placed their hopes in a sustainable modern housing solution at an ultra-low cost, especially amid the global housing crisis. When the truth emerged that this product did not actually exist, the initial excitement quickly turned into widespread disappointment. Expecting a fully equipped home integrated with Powerwall battery storage and solar panels for just $8,000 is economically unrealistic, especially when the cost of Tesla's own components alone already far exceeds that figure. So what's your take on this? Do you think the Tesla tiny house is a genius move waiting to happen, or just another piece of clickbait? And let's be honest, if they actually managed to drop the price to $7,000, would you be the first person in line to buy one, or would you be worried about what you're actually getting for that price? Could you really see yourself living the Musk lifestyle in under 400 square feet? Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you found this deep dive interesting, do us a massive favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tech and lifestyle breakdowns. We want to hear from you, so drop your theories, your doubts, and your questions in the comments below. We read every single one. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring the future, and we'll catch you in the next video.